Okay, so this is such a big theme that I wanted to do a live on it because I responded to a person's comment on a post, and it was such a juicy theme that it brought up that I thought I would jump on live and dig into it a little bit more. So get comfy because I'm not going to rush on this one. I've been getting really good at sharing things in 30 seconds and 45 seconds, but I'm going to take a bit of time on this because it's such a huge piece. It doesn't have to be you. In fact, it's better when it's not. I shared that kind of one-liner a little while ago, and it's huge, right? It's such a great thing to talk about for a few reasons because it infiltrates our relationships, right? It pollutes them and in a really dysfunctional and disempowered way. And parent guilt is one of them. And I just did an interview that's going to be going live with my good friend Nisi Sedino about guilt. Yeah, about how the way that we navigate guilt and over responsibility is such a huge thing in our lives, especially when we're a parent. So parent guilt is one of them. And of course, it doesn't have to just be parents. However, parenting is such a good example to use because so many of us are martyr parents, right? I remember a client of mine used to saying that she was from a whole line of martyr mums and she was continuing on that pattern. So if you're a martyr parent, which so many of us are, right? Over giving, over responsible, always there for your kids. Yeah, it's you that's there for every bedtime, every party, every outing, every after school activity, every meal, right? Every bath time, because it has to be you. Right? It has to be you. And you're running yourself into the ground, and you might be doing this for your partner. So, as I said, it's not just for parents. You're running yourself into the ground, giving everything of you, giving all of you away because you think you're loving the other person, loving your kids, loving your partner, bringing what's left of you instead of bringing the best of you, right? Because it has to be you. Otherwise, you'll be a bad parent or a bad partner, a bad girlfriend or a bad boyfriend, or whatever it is, whatever your version of this is. Wouldn't it be better just to lose the guilt and let someone else be with your kids? All right? Doing some of the things that you always do and have them bring fresh energy to the situation. You know how when you have a timeout, when you're playing rugby, soccer, group sport. I've got such an itchy nose. And you have reserves, right? And you bring them on because they're fresh legs. Right? So bring some fresh legs into your relationship, into your parenting situation, dynamic, so that you can go and refuel yourself. Because it doesn't have to be you, and sometimes it's better when it's not. And there's a lot of reasons why it's better when it's not, apart from the one that I've just mentioned, because you're bringing your tired, knackered, grumpy ass self to the situation, and you're bringing that energy to your kids, to your relationship, whatever it is. And man, I was a master at this. But I thought I was loving my kids. I thought I was doing the best for them. Right? I thought I was coming from this loving place. The place that I was coming from was fear of being seen as a bad parent, of being seen as an unworthy parent, a not good enough parent, all of those things. That was where I was coming from, yeah, disguised as love. Yeah, not so good, huh? So it doesn't have to be you. In fact, it's better when it's not. So you can go and refuel yourself. You can go and put some other hats on in your life as a parent, as a partner, as a friend. And then come and bring that incredible juice, that incredible aliveness, that incredible replenished self, and feed that into your relationship. with your kids, with your partner, your friendships. So that's one piece that I wanted to talk about. The second part is that it doesn't have to be you fulfilling every single need or want or desire that your partner has. I'll be back, buddy. I'm just doing a live video. I'll see you in a minute. Oh, thanks. I'll see you soon. Right? It doesn't have to be you fulfilling every single need. And it's better when it's not. Like, it's really better when it's not. No one can be everything for someone else. No one can fully and completely meet all of the individual needs of one person. That's impossible. Then why do we try? Because codependency is the primary mode of relating that we've all been born into. And there are so many dysfunctional aspects of codependency, which I love to talk about. But the one that I'm talking about here is when we expect one person to be our everything, to meet all our needs, right? Emotional needs, physical needs, mental stimulation needs, sexual needs, needs for intimacy, for nurture and nourishment, companionship needs, to be mothered or fathered or looked after. Yeah, because when we expect our partners to be that, it doesn't work out too well. Like, it really doesn't. Financial needs. I mean, there's so many needs here that I could be talking about, but I think you get my drift. It's a lot of needs that us humans have, and historically the expectation, or just the way that it was that one person would be the one, right? I wondered where that expression came from. Oh, they're the one. They're the one that's going to satisfy my every need and my every desire and my every want. That one. Whew. That one person that would take care of all of that. And we wonder why we're having problems holding our relationships together. And why, like 50%, over 50% of couples, the ones with kids, are separating. They can't hold their relationships together because of the weight of responsibility of having to be the one. It doesn't have to be you. And it's better when it's not. And it doesn't have to be them. It's better when it's not. So the third point, which I've just started tapping into, this dysfunction that also filters down into our family dynamic, right? When we believe that only the parents should be the ones doing the parenting. Right? So I touched on it in that first point, but I want to go a little bit deeper here. When if it's not the mum, it's the dad. And if there's no dad in the picture, then it's just the mum. Right? Why do we make it so hard for ourselves? Why do we do this? Because we believe it has to be us. Yeah, which comes from our conditioning, it comes from our programming, it comes from our wounding, how we felt as children growing up, which creates this belief that it has to be us, and it doesn't, and it's better when it's not. Why? I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons, because then we just continue to perpetuate and repeat the cycles of the past when we believe it has to be us. And I responded to, as I said when I first started the live, a comment on a post this morning about this very theme. And essentially, just to give you some context of this comment, essentially the dad wasn't in the picture. Yeah, and I could feel the threads of resentment and judgment and blame and pain, right? Pain. And I definitely had a lot of this going on for myself in my own journey, because my father wasn't around from about the age of 5. Like he wasn't in the picture. And I had so much blame and so much judgment and so much resentment and so much pain because of the abandonment that I felt. And of course, that impacted this very thing, because then when I became a parent, I was so terrified of abandoning my children that it had to be me doing everything. Had to be me. Huge, huge awareness. So this father wasn't in the picture. And I get it, right? I get that there was so much pain there and resentment and so much challenge to not blame. And I get it, right? I've been in that place, yeah, because he wasn't in the picture. But the problem is we get so focused that the dad is not there and that he should be, that we're not able to see that it doesn't have to be him. And perhaps it's better that it's not. For whatever reason, whatever's going on with that dad, whatever's going on with my dad, right, which I did a lot of questioning around when I could step outside of the perception that I had of the situation, outside of the blame, the judgment, the resentment. And having understanding and letting go of this belief by stepping outside of it. Right? This expectation that I had, that so many of us have around how another should show up, and it opens up space for more people. Because yes, our kids need female mother energy in their lives. They need male father energy in their lives. And that comes in different versions, different bodies, different people, but they need it. Yeah, our kids need that. But it doesn't have to be the biological mother. It doesn't have to be the biological father that brings it. But when we're stuck in these beliefs, when this is what's running the show, that it has to be them, it blocks us from creating something different. Now, I have a lot of different males, different men, different father energy in my kids' lives. And my little guy who just popped his head in a few minutes ago was just out with one of them. It's the reason why I chose to get a really big ass house and have another parent living here that's got a little girl, bringing different energy into my kids' lives. And while I've been here doing this, they've been out at the Weta Studios, like going on a day trip, which is super cool. Because it doesn't have to be me, and sometimes it's better when it's not. Because I've got something really big coming. I've got something really exciting that I've been dropping little seeds about. Yeah, the next steps in the way of the wolf pack, the work that I do, which is all about relationships, all about empowering other people in relationships, the ones that we have with the other people in our lives. Because I'm all about leading an evolution and creating mutually empowered and sovereign relationships. Yeah, because up until this point, that's not what we've been having. And it's time to create this very new, very different, very beautiful, very powerful relationship technology that is going to be more relevant to the current climate, the modern world that we all live in. So I'm really excited about that. And I've been putting in some hours during the school holidays because I'm really excited about it. And I can't wait to get it out to all of you. And if I'm bringing that to my kids where I'm like full of all this stuff and, might not be able to be as present as I want to be with them in their school holidays. So they go out with someone else, which is so cool. So cool. And there's another reason, and I'll just give you this just before I disappear, just before I wrap up this live. It doesn't have to be us, and it's better when it's not. And the reason why it's better when it's not, and this is in relation to our parenting, to us as parents, Because if we are exposed, and this filters, fruit fly, this filters through into all of our relationships. Because if we have other people in our lives, if we bring back the tribe, right, the village, these other versions of men, these other versions of women, other versions of mother energy, father energy, other versions of people, and we bring them into our lives, then our children who are watching, who are absorbing from the way that we live, from the way that we relate to one another, they are far less likely to be so limited in the way that they are programmed, in the way that they are conditioned, because they're going to see all these different versions in their daily lives. And my boys are getting a reference point of another version of father, another version of man that's not just their own dad. And they hang out with all of these different versions of men. So they're much less likely to be conditioned and programmed with, oh, that's what a man is. That's what a father is. It's like, but, Uncle Joey is like this, and Mum's friend Mark is like that, and Dad's friend Tim is like this. And yeah, you can see that it just blows a lid off, rather than us having, well, men are like this, fathers are like that. Women are like this, women are like that. And when we can bring this into our relationships, we're not expecting one person to be the one who fulfills our every need, our every desire, our every want. How we bring other people into our orbit. Other people who we can deepen the connection with, so that all of that pressure, all of that responsibility doesn't fall to one person. Because that's a lot of pressure, man. Holy shit. Imagine being the one that has to take care of all of that has to hold all of that. It's exhausting just thinking about it. It's overwhelming. It's right? I think you get it. So that's why this belief that we have is so dysfunctional, and why shining a light on it, why talking about it, why discussing it, why bringing it out into the open to be seen, right? Then we have a chance to do something different. Then we have a chance to uninstall that part of the technology, the way that we relate, and install, right? Another piece of technology, another way of relating where it doesn't have to be you, because it's better when it's not. So there's a little taste. It's a little bit more than 30 seconds, more than 45 seconds. This is the kind of awareness, this is the kind of consciousness that you find in the work that I do, in the way of the wolf pack, the group that I gathered because I was the lone wolf. I believed it had to be me doing everything. And because of that, I felt so alone and so unsupported, that I didn't belong, that I didn't fit into this world, that I couldn't create the connections that I would love to be creating. So I gathered a pack. I gathered a group of people who wanted to question, who wanted to empower themselves around relating, around how we relate to ourselves and other people. And that's what we do. And if you're interested in learning more, keep your eyes on this space. And you can join us in the Wolfpack group on Facebook. We would love to have you roam alongside us. All right, that's it for now. How do I end this video? Stop. End. Share.